Yo guys, welcome back to the channel. Once again, we're gonna go ahead and do another video based off this book, but this time we're gonna go ahead and talk about the spells no one really knows about that are actually useful and stuff like that in this book. There's a lot of spells in this book and in this video that you probably have heard about, probably haven't. Some are only in the book, some are only in the movie, some aren't even in the book or the movie, some are in video games and stuff like that. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and run through them very quickly because there is a lot of them. But before we go ahead and get into this book, like always, if you guys are new here, make sure to go ahead and subscribe if you guys have not already done so. I post Harry Potter content on a daily basis. So if you guys are a Harry Potter fan, I definitely recommend you guys to go ahead and subscribe if you guys have not already done so. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this book. Alright, so the first one is called a cribbing spell. Some of these spells are actually not actual spells, but they just say, like, let's say if they don't have an actual name for them just yet, they just gotta call it something spell or something stuff like that. There's one even for hair thickening, stuff like that. But this first one is called cribbing spell. It's in spells, in chapter 1 spells, and its use is helps the caster cheat in exams. I thought this was hilariously funny because who doesn't want to cheat on exams and not get in trouble? And it says magic movement is basically where in the movie or in the book is shown before that people actually use this spell. And it says in Philosopher's Stone video game, so this is one from the video game, a Slytherin student asked, know any good cribbing spells? Here in the bottom it has notes. It says this spell is only mentioned in the Philosopher's Stone's video game. So there you go, there's only some that are actually in video games, some aren't even done anywhere, and it's just from J.K. Rowling herself. There's some from Pottermore and stuff like that. Alright, the second one is called Draconiphores, and it's a transfiguration spell. It basically turns small objects into dragons, and its magic movement is when McGonagall teaches a spell in 3rd year transfiguration class. For the notes it says this spell is only seen in the Prison of Azkaban video game, and then in the little writing in the bottom it has little handwriting. It produces much smaller, less powerful creatures than true dragon. The next one is called Flagrate. Alright, and this is it's a conjuration, and its uses says to create lines of fire which can be used to write or draw in the air. So if you guys have not seen this one, this is very famously known in the movie, and it's where Thomas Riddle writes his full name, Tom Marvolo Riddle, and then moves them around to I am Lord Voldemort. But yeah, this is the one from the movie. The fact that they could do spells without even talking is pretty cool, just alone. Magic movement. In Order of the Phoenix, Hermione uses a spell to draw X's on the doors in the Ministry of Magic's Department of Mysteries. The notes, it says the line of fire created with the spell will remain for some time. Going to the next one, Herbivores. Alright, and it's a transfiguration spell. Its use is to turn target's hair into flowers. Literally has no other meaning. This is probably one of the most useless spells, but it's in here. This is one spell that like no one really knows about. This spell, the magic movement says this spell could be bought in Diagon Alley. Notes, this spell is only seen in the Lego Harry Potter video games. So you can buy spells in like other locations. I thought spells you had to learn, but I guess not. Alright, the next one is Mors Mordor. It's a conjuration spell, and it basically says to conjure the dark mark. Normally in the movies they don't show you, or they don't say anything, or they don't say any spells, but you just see it happen. And it says here in the magic movement, in the Goblet of Fire, Barty Crouch Jr. cast this spell after the Quidditch World Cup in the aim of scaring former Death Eaters who were rioting and torturing muggles at the event. In etymology, it says in French, mort means death and mortar means to bite. So death and to bite, eating, so Death Eaters. That's pretty cool. Notes, during the First Wizarding War, Death Eaters often cast a spell after having committed a murder. Alright, this spell doesn't have a name, it just says point me, and basically is to use your wand as a compass. In magic movement it says in Goblet of Fire, Hermione teaches a spell to Harry so he can navigate in the 3rd task of the Triwizard Tournament. Note says this spell is rare for having an incantation that is English rather than Latin. Reparifords is the next one. It's a healing spell, and it says to heal ailments such as poisoning or paralysis. And it says in the Prisoner of Azkaban video game, the spell is cast using the chocolate frog card combination, likely from the English repair and Latin formula meaning shape. Notes, it says this spell is only mentioned in the Prisoner of Azkaban game. So yeah, like I told you, there's some spells that are only from the video game, some are from the trading card game and stuff like that. So this is a really good book to get. I definitely recommend it to anyone who wants to learn more spells. Alright, these I know for sure no one really knows about. This one's it's called Shooting Spells, and it's basically you use it to shoot a target using your wand. So basically your wand is like a gun, basically. It says in the deleted scene from Deathly Hallows, Ron and Harry use the spell to attempt to catch a rabbit while camping in the forest. And it says that the spell produces a sound like a gunshot. So that's pretty cool. Alright, the next one is a shield penetration spell. It's a conjuration and is uses to dismantle magical shields. In the Deathly Hallows Part 2, Voldemort uses a spell to overpower the defensive enchantments placed over Hogwarts Castle. So everyone that was shooting the spells and stuff like that, this is basically the big one that destroyed it using the Elder Wand. And in the notes it says the Elder Wand cracks when Voldemort uses his spell, implying that it took an incredible amount of power to break through the strong shield. It might have been more difficult because he was not the wand's master. So yeah, that just shows you the power that this guy had at the time. Alright, this one's pretty cool. Teleportation spell is a spell to instantly transport objects from one place to another. And in the Half-Blood Prince, Albus Dumbledore uses a spell to send Harry's belongings ahead of the burrow so they can visit Slughorn. Vanishing cabinets may be enchanted with this spell. With the bird and Malfoy, when he put the bird in the cabinet, closed it, and it would transport from there to Borgin and Burks. So stuff like that. That's pretty cool. Alright, jumping into chapter 2 is charms. Unknown charms in the Wizarding World. Charms require precise wand movements, correct pronunciation, and absolute concentration to be successful. It's called Babilus. Babilus is used to shoot lightning from your wand. It says in the Harry Potter trading card game, Flitwick performs this spell. So in the trading card game, it says notes, though the name of this charm seems to reference Flitwick decorating the Great Hall's Christmas tree in the Sorcerer's Stone, its trading card instruct the user to do 1 damage of the opponent's arrow create or a creature of your choice, implying it is used for dueling. Bombarda. I don't know, some people have used this as well. I think Harry has used this trying to destroy a Horcrux, but let's go ahead and see what it says in the book. It says to create an explosion. Etymology, it says in English, bombard means attack. Magic movement, it says in Cursed Child Albus Potter considers this charm as a means to destroy the Time Turner. And in the notes it says in the Order of the Phoenix film, a more powerful version of the spell Bombarda Maxima is used by Dolores Umbridge to break into the Room of Requirements. Our next one is called Duro. Its use is to turn the target into stone. Magic moment, it says in Deathly Hallows, Hermione uses a charm on a tapestry that 2 Death Eaters were about to run into in the Battle of Hogwarts. This was first identified as a hardening charm in the Wonder Book Book of Spells video game. Our next one is Glicio, and it's to flatten a staircase into a slide. Our magic movement says in Deathly Hallows, Hermione uses a spell to enable herself, Ron, and Harry to quickly evade Death Eaters during the Battle of Hogwarts. Sadly, we didn't get to see that in the movie, but that would have been super awesome to see them just slide down all those stairs in Hogwarts. Notes, this may be the same spell used to enchant the staircase to the girls' dormitory in Gryffindor Tower. The next one is a very interesting one. It's called Hair Thickening Charm, and it's to make hair grow quickly. Basically, this is the perfect spell for any bald person in the world. Magic moment, it says in the Order of the Phoenix, a Slytherin student cast this spell on Alicia Spinnet, causing her eyebrows to grow at an alarming rate. This was one of the few incidents in which Slytherin students targeted members of the Gryffindor Quidditch team. This may be the spell Harry unknowingly used as a child after Petunia Dursley gave him a horrible haircut. I heard this one as well, that every time Harry would get a haircut, it would just grow back to normal. Alright, the next one is called Amorphous Charm, and its use is to temporarily return a werewolf to its human form. The magic moment says Gilderoy Lockhart claimed to have used this spell to defeat the Wagga Wagga werewolf. In fact, the credit belonged to the Armenian warlock. What a surprise. Couldn't they use this spell to go ahead and just change Lupin back to normal? I guess they never even knew about it, or I don't know what happened. There's a lot of spells in here that no one really knows about and no one really talks about in the book or the movie. These ones that come from the trading card games and video games is really cool for me to learn them as well. Alright, I like this one as well. It's called Intruder Charm, and it basically detects intruders and sets off an alarm that only you could listen to, I guess. And it says in the Half-Blood Prince, Horace Slughorn uses this charm on a muggle house that he was staying in. the house that Harry and Dumbledore walked in on. He was actually, it says here on the notes that the alarm was presumably not very loud, as Slughorn was in the bath when Harry and Albus Dumbledore arrived and does not hear it go off. Alright, the next one is Mobile Corpus, and it basically is to just move bodies around. In Prison of Azkaban, Remus Lupus used the spell to go ahead and move an unconscious Snape out of the Shrieking Shack. The first thing that came to my head when reading this was when Voldemort moved the teacher through the long table in midair, and that's basically the first thing that popped into my head, just seeing that. On the notes it says, when in use, the spell hoist up the body with invisible strings as if it was a puppet. If I was a wizard, I would use this in a heartbeat, and it's just called pack, and it's to pack luggage. Basically, whenever you guys are needing to go out anywhere and you guys need to pack quickly, you just say, I guess you could say, you just pack and everything just forms into one big luggage. And it says magic movement. In Order of the Phoenix, Nymphadora Tonks uses a spell to quickly pack Harry's belongings in the trunk before they left from 12 Grimwald Place. It says casters who are more skilled at housework spells may be able to execute the spell more neatly. Tonks mentioned that her mother was capable of making socks fold themselves up. Alright, the next one is Repello Muggletum. It's basically to go ahead and keep muggles away from an area, and it says the grounds for the Quidditch World Cup had muggle repelling charm on every inch of it. If a muggle came near, they would suddenly remember something important they had to do and immediately leave. It says according to Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, this charm was used to protect the habitats of certain magical creatures. Alright, so now going into chapter 3 is curses, hexes, and jinx. Generally speaking, jinx are annoying, hexes are a little more serious, and curses are the darkest form of magic. Unknown curses, hex, and jinxes in the wizarding world, also known as dark charms. Alright, this one is a hex, and it is called the Sengio, and it uses to elongate the target's teeth, basically to make your teeth humongous. And it says in the Goblet of Fire, Hermione was inadvertently hit by this spell while Harry and Draco were dueling in the corridor. I don't think that's that bad, but I mean, how big can your teeth get? Alright, this last one is called Langlock, and it is a jinx. It's to make the target's tongue stick to the root of their mouth, and its magical movement is in the Half-Blood Prince. Harry uses a spell on Peeves. It stopped the poltergeist from speaking, but it was still able to make rude gestures as he left the room. This spell was invented by Severus Snape in the 1970s. If you guys do not know, he actually has made a lot of spells. In this book, I've probably seen that he has invented a spell probably 5 to 10 times alone, just me riffling through them really quickly. This guy is no joke, probably the strongest, if not strongest, Death Eater. That is all the spells that I have looked up, at least in this book, that no one really knows that much about them. In this book, it is, if you guys want to get this book, it's called the Unofficial Ultimate Harry Potter Spellbook, a complete guide of every spell of the Wizarding World. It talks about the introduction of spell casting, so it has spells, charms, jinxes, curses, stuff like that. It has a guide to the wand woods and cores. It talks about ashwood, oakwood, all of that, and it has the cores as well, the unicorn, phoenix feather, stuff like that, and the catalog of enchanted objects, such as the most lovable one of them all, the Ford Anglia. That's gonna be it for you guys. I hope you guys liked this video. If you guys did, go ahead and like it in the bottom. If you guys are new here, definitely go ahead and make sure to subscribe. I post Harry Potter content on a daily, I post Harry Potter content on a daily basis. So without further ado, I wish you guys the best of luck, and I'll see you guys the next time. So without further ado, Avada Kedavra!